Hey, everyone! Welcome back to your one-stop spot for everything related to coin collecting, history, and value. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any coin tips, facts, or deep dives into your favorite pieces of history. Today, we're going to take a closer look at a very interesting coin in the world of U.S. currency, the 1983 half-quarter dollar coin. Now, you might be wondering, what's so special about this coin? Or, how much is it worth today? Well, you're in for a treat because in this video, we'll break it all down for you, from its value to some fascinating facts about this piece of American history. So, let's get started. First, let's talk about what exactly this coin is. The 1983 half-quarter dollar is a clad composition coin, meaning it's made of a copper-nickel blend. This is quite typical for U.S. quarters post-1965, as the government shifted from the silver content they had before. The coin features the famous image of George Washington, the first president of the United States, designed by John Flanagan. On the obverse side, we have a portrait of George Washington, who has been featured on U.S. quarters since 1932. You can also see the words Liberty, the year 1983, and the motto In God We Trust. On the reverse, we have an eagle with its wings spread wide, which was part of the design that has remained largely unchanged since the 1932 quarter series. The reverse side also says United States of America and E Pluribus Unum. Alright, now let's get to the question that's on everyone's mind. How much is the 1983 half-quarter dollar worth today? Well, if you've got a regular, circulated 1983 quarter, it's worth exactly 25 cents. That's because it was minted for everyday use and doesn't carry any special or rare features that would increase its value. However, if you've got an uncirculated version of the 1983 quarter, one that hasn't been used in commerce and is still in pristine condition, it can fetch a higher price. Uncirculated coins can be worth anywhere from $1 to $3, depending on the demand and condition. You might even find one that has a higher price if it has been professionally graded, so be sure to check for any signs of wear and tear. But here's the thing. The 1983 half-quarter dollar coin is part of a massive mintage, meaning millions of them were produced. The United States Mint released over 600 million of these coins in 1983, which is why it's fairly common today. With such a large mintage, the 1983 quarter isn't considered rare. So, for the vast majority of collectors, it won't fetch a huge premium unless it's in exceptionally good condition or part of a special set. But, don't let that discourage you. There are still collectors out there who focus on year-specific coins and pieces with unique characteristics. Now, let's talk about a little fun fact. Did you know that the 1983 quarter is famous for a tiny minting error? A small number of quarters were accidentally struck with the D mint mark for Denver on the Philadelphia version. These coins are extremely rare and can be worth a lot more than a standard 1983 quarter. Unfortunately, finding these error coins can be like looking for a needle in a haystack, but if you happen to come across one, you might just strike gold. To wrap things up, if you're a coin collector or just starting your collection, the 1983 half-quarter dollar is a great addition to your set. While it might not be worth much in circulated form, it's a reminder of an era of American currency and offers a fantastic opportunity to learn more about the history of U.S. minting. Whether you're buying or selling, always check the condition of your coin and see if it has any special minting errors that could increase its value. The 1983 U.S. quarter, or half-quarter dollar, is part of the long-standing tradition of the U.S. quarter series that has been in circulation for centuries. To understand its significance, let's take a look at its history. The quarter dollar was first introduced by the U.S. Mint in 1796, with the coin's design evolving over time. Initially, quarters were made of silver, with the metal content and size changing throughout the years. However, by 1965, the U.S. government transitioned to a copper-nickel clad composition for most coins, including the quarter. This change was made in response to the rising cost of silver and to preserve the metal content in circulation. The 1983 quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series, which has featured George Washington's image on the obverse front of the coin since 1932. The coin is made from a clad composition, consisting of a copper core and an outer layer of nickel. The reverse back of the coin displays a bald eagle, designed by John Flanagan, which has remained mostly unchanged since the 1930 SBY 1983. The design of the quarter had become widely recognized and standardized. The U.S. Mint produced millions of quarters annually, and the 1983 mintage was no exception. That year, a total of over 600 million quarters were minted across two locations, Philadelphia and Denver, with the Philadelphia Mint producing coins without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint producing those marked with a D. The 1983 quarter was produced during a time of economic change in the United States. The early 1980s were marked by high inflation and an ongoing recession that had begun in the late 1970s. By 1983, the country was still in recovery mode, and the production of coins was essential for the economy, helping to keep the money supply stable. The 1983 quarter was not designed to commemorate any specific event, but like many U.S. coins, it was meant to serve as everyday currency to be used in daily transactions. With its high mintage and standard design, the coin had little immediate numismatic value. However, its place in history is secure as part of the long-standing tradition of the Washington quarter. While the 1983 quarter is common in circulation and typically only worth 25 cents in its regular, circulated form, there are a few interesting aspects to consider from a numismatic standpoint. Mint errors ***. Some 1983 quarters were struck with errors, such as a double die or incorrect mint mark placement. These errors can increase the value of the coin to collectors, depending on the severity and rarity of the error. Uncirculated coins ***. If you come across an uncirculated 1983 quarter, it could be worth a bit more than its face value. The price can range from $1 to $3, depending on its condition and if it has been professionally graded. Special collections ***. The 1983 quarter is also a part of larger coin series collections, like the State Quarters program that began in 1999, which showcased unique designs for each state. However, since the 1983 quarter was released before this program, it remains part of the standard Washington quarter series, with little added numismatic value unless in uncirculated condition. The 1983 quarter stands as a symbol of the ongoing legacy of the Washington quarter series. As one of the millions of quarters in circulation, it became a part of the everyday life of Americans during the early 1980s. Though it has no commemorative significance, the coin's widespread use ties it to the larger historical context of the U.S. economy during that time. The 1983 quarter is also a reminder of the clad coinage era, as it is part of the shift away from precious metals to less expensive materials for coin production. While it didn't make history as a particularly rare or unique coin, it remains an important part of the broader historical narrative of U.S. coinage. The 1983 U.S. quarter may not be a rare or high-value coin by numismatic standards, but it serves as a crucial piece of the historical and economic puzzle of its time. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or someone just getting started, understanding the 1983 quarter's place in U.S. currency history offers insight into the nation's economic state and the role of coinage in daily life. Today, we're diving into one of the most talked about coins in U.S. coin collecting history, the 1965 Washington quarter, sometimes mistakenly called a half-quarter dollar. But what's so special about it? Is it worth more than face value? And what should you look for in your own pocket change? Let's find out. In 1965, the United States Mint made a major change. Due to a nationwide silver shortage, they stopped producing 90% silver quarters. That means the 1964 quarter was the last year with silver, and the 1965 quarter was the first with no silver at all. Instead, the Mint used a copper-nickel clad composition that is still used today. Let's talk about the design and features of the 1965 quarter. On the obverse, you'll see the familiar face of George Washington, and on the reverse, the eagle with outstretched wings. No mint mark. That's normal. In 1965, all quarters were minted in Philadelphia, and Philly coins didn't carry a mint mark at that time. Here's how you know if your 1965 quarter is clad and not silver. Check the edge. If you see a copper line, it's a clad coin. But if the edge looks solid silver, hang on to it. It could be a minting error or planchet mistake worth serious money. So what's the value of a 1965 quarter in circulated condition? Average circulated value: $0.25 to $0.35 extremely fine condition, $0.50 to $1.00 brilliant uncirculated, MS60, MS65 $2 to $15 rare mint errors, up to several $1,000s. Yes, most 1965 quarters in circulation are still worth just 25 cents. But coins in uncirculated condition or with errors, like a silver planchet or missing clad layer, can be worth big money. Here's the real treasure hunt. Some 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver blanks meant for 1964 coins. These are super rare and can sell $4.5000 or more at auctions. Also watch out for off-center strikes, double dies, or missing clad layers. All of these errors make the coin more valuable to collectors. So should you keep every 1965 quarter you find? Well, if it's heavily worn, it's likely just worth face value. But if it's shiny, has no visible copper edge, or looks unusual, definitely hang on to it and consider getting it graded. Let's go back to the year 1965, a big turning point in U.S. coin history. Before this year, U.S. quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But because of a nationwide shortage of silver, the U.S. Mint was forced to make a major change. People had started hoarding silver coins, especially quarters and dimes, because the value of silver was going up. As a result, there weren't enough coins circulating in the economy. To solve this, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Coinage Act of 1965, which removed silver from quarters and dimes altogether. Starting mid-1965, the U.S. Mint switched to a new composition, a copper-nickel-clad coin. That means the coin had an inner core of pure copper, with outer layers made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. This is the same metal blend still used today for quarters. Another interesting fact? From 1965 to 1967, quarters had no mint marks at all, even if they were minted in Denver or San Francisco. The mint did this to discourage people from collecting coins by mint location during the coin shortage. The 1965 quarter marked the beginning of a new era, the end of silver in regular circulation, and the start of the modern clad coinage we see today. Did you learn something new today? Do you have a 1965 quarter in your collection? Drop a comment below and share your coin finds. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome coin videos every week.